Hello everybody, welcome to another 25 6-card PLO video from Pokerstars, and I'm going to start this video by asking if you intend to continue watching it, because it's not no limit hold'em, so many of you won't. Could you please leave a like on the video, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, could you please subscribe, because not only has my passion for poker been reinvigorated by 6-card, my passion for making some YouTube videos also has too. And I'd like to spread the word about this fun game to my small community as far as possible, because let's be honest, most of you watching this and most of my regular viewers, you're probably losing at poker. You're probably not very good, because if you were, you wouldn't be watching this rubbish. And a lot of the time, you probably just don't enjoy it very much. You probably find it quite boring and quite stale, etc. Then why not come and play this game, which you're probably still going to lose at, because if you're just bad at poker, you're just bad at poker. But you'll have a lot more fun with. And if you look around these tables and look at all like the blue and green tags, you're just going to be dealt into games with like some really, truly awful players. So you actually have a chance to win. And not only win, but I have a lot more fun doing it. It's not a big part of the reason why I play this game. I play it because I think long term, if I keep working, I'll be able to develop an edge, and I'll be able to play stakes higher than I can play at no limit and have more fun with it. Also, I of course make these videos to promote the app games I'm involved with, and if you are interested in them, then email me beneath the video on the email linked beneath the video, or contact the Telegram address that's beneath the video. But that's the end of the spam, I promise you. We're just here to, and I just tanked there, and I folded when I didn't mean to. Obviously, it's no secret I'm involved in private games. Obviously, no secret I use YouTube to recruit players to those private games, because that helps me make a small passive income. So let's just get that out there. That's just fact. But I actually make these videos now, these PLO videos, because I'm just really, really enjoying playing. I play mostly on app games, but I do play on Pokerstars both to practice and to create content. And I promise you, if you're not interested in playing in app games, fair enough. Come and have a game on Pokerstars if you've got access to it, because there's plenty enough whales kicking around, even just on Pokerstars. Plenty of players who just clearly... I'm not good at this game, but there's people who clearly have absolutely no idea whatsoever what they're doing. And of course, my phone starts ringing. It is fucking unreal. Literally unreal how often I get disturbed when I'm trying to make a video. The frequency is outrageous. Anyways, as I was saying, I'm just absolutely obsessed with this game at the moment. I'm probably playing it 10 hours a day. Yeah, I just fucking love it. Absolutely love the game. And you would too if you gave it a try. I can almost assure you of that. But anyways, let's just play some poker now and try and explain my strategy. Here, we have a hand that definitely wants to put some chips in the pot. I would rather bet for a half pot than check call a pot size bet. And sometimes we get some folds, of course. Here, I think we want to continue putting money in the pot. We've turned trips. And again, I'd rather bet myself than check and then get into a guessing game when players start mashing the pot button. River, we've rivered a full house. We only lose now to like pocket jacks, jack 10. I think we're just going to pot this. I think, am I? Yeah, we want to be polar on the river. We're repping like a full house or a misdraw, aren't we? So, we actually lost two. What? Well, you can't be too careful, can you? You cannot be too careful. Shit, he might have quads. I'll just call. That's just me value owning myself. We got going on here? Not a lot. We've got straight draw, pair. Here we've got Good shot. So again, just like, rather than check call, I just don't like taking check call lines. There's too much guessing game involved. Like too often people just check back and just like either use check or pot, and a lot of the time we don't want them to do either. It's going to continue betting here. Here we've got a straight 7 to the jack, but we don't have a flush. And on the river, given that we know this guy just doesn't like value betting, although now he does, we don't have blockers here. If we had a 9, we could consider doing something. You really want to block straight to contain a 9. We haven't got one, so we just fold. Second nut flush draw. Pointless bottom 2 pairs. Have a bet. And so what I've found when I'm playing by playing this game more and more is that when you like use it might sound stupid, but it's easier to pot control by betting than it is by checking a lot of the time, because the hands that I know I'm going to want to continue with in some capacity, when I check and people start potting, it just makes it more expensive to stay in the hand. And quite often people will only pot with like nut draws or nut equity. But then when you half pot, they'll have loads of hands that they would have checked back that they would call with. It just gives you, as the cool kids call it, more clarity. It gets you more value. It gives you more opportunities to bluff pots later on because you've been repping stronger hands from the get-go, etc. It's just something I think is really quite a good strategy in low-stakes games against like pretty terrible players. Probably would be quite bad against good players. And what have we got going on here? We've got the straight, and as usual, we're just going to bet and take an awful lot of guessing out of the equation. So we river the nuts over here. Didn't want to barrel the turn there. Getting raised would have been smelly on the paired board. And on the river, we're either saying we've got a full house, a flush, or nothing. So there's no point in using a medium size. And so what I found people do in this game, when it's checked to them, and we've talked about in previous videos, out of like fear of like getting sucked out on, fear of making a mistake later in the hand, that just lots of people just seem to have lots of bad reasons and motivations for betting, and then they just use pot a lot with hands that have no real business using a pot size bet. And it just gets really, really messy. Genuinely believe that just having a pretty relentless and aggressive half pot strategy on early streets, it just seems to work really nicely. People just only raise you when they're nutted or nut drawing, and they would just call you with so many hands that have absolutely no business calling. So you can actually get lots and lots of thin value build pots to make larger river bets when you want to polarize, and at the same time you just get so much information about players' hand strengths too. Here again, we don't have a queen in our hand. We don't have any real good ways to improve against queen jack, so we'll just fold. So yeah, in this game you just get to play loads and loads and loads and loads of post-flop poker against people who, quite frank, I mean, I'm a bad player. I'm like, as I said before, like a 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10 PLO player. But fortunately, everyone else is like, they're not on the scale. Some are 0, some are 0.5, etc. So even though I am really like very bad at this game, fundamentally and theoretically, in practice, in games like this, assuming the rake's beatable, it's just impossible for me to lose long term. I mean, 93 VPIP up here. Who, by the way, needs to be pink and not blue. Long term, it's impossible. I genuinely believe, like, in these games, pre-rake win rates are like way over 20 big blinds 100. Way over. It's not even close. Here, this guy's c-bet full pot. We have like the inside wrap, so we're going to call once. And now we have nothing to do but check fold. Played quite a lot with this player. And he is a pretty big nit. So we have rivered a straight here. Oh, we actually rivered a bigger full house. Just going to lead out. I mean, he could easily have trapped us here with aces full on the turn, given that he's got nothing to be scared of. But we can still get value here from worse hands. And when he raises us, we just know he's got aces full or quad deuces, because nothing else will ever raise in a million gazillion years here. So, yeah, super easy decision. Super, super easy. And look at the speed he did it with as well. It's like, what are you fucking doing, you disgusting nit? I mean, fair play to him there. He let us catch up. Then he got like a half pot value bet out of us on the river. But, mate, you've got the nuts in 6-card PLO at 25-cent big blind limit. Fucking slow play. Don't trap. Just fucking put money in the pot, you fucking moron. Genuinely, what a fucking moron. I mean, if he's routinely checking back nuts on turns in this game in single race pots, then genuinely, he's a fucking idiot of the highest order. And actually, in many ways, just as much of a fish as these other players. Single suited aces here. Hand that for the newcomer is remarkably easy to overplay. And actually, that is really it's not great at all. We've got the triple suit for our ace nut suit. I think that we can't cold call this. It doesn't play well enough post flop. So at this point, we can put 30 bigs in now. We'll be down to SPR 1. And I guess we'll just be running with our hand. Oh, well, he's probably just got better aces than I have. And we'll probably be an underdog. Yeah, he has double suited ones. And we are a small underdog. Now we're a massive favourite, and now we win. Hey, have that bazillion, you fucking big Irish nit. Ha ha. Good luck. Have a little cry, mate. Have a little cry. Got to be said, the chat boxes are far more entertaining in PLO2. Because there's just a lot of whales crying and bitching and moaning and trolling. It's literally like going back in time. It's like going back to 2005 when online first started booming. Here we're just going to call. This is a pretty nice hand. We've flopped really well here. Given his check back, we're just going to value bet on the turn. Just turbo folds. Well, not turbo, but folded. Is it nice? Go on, Matthias, get him. Didn't snap called you yet. Oh. Is he free rolling anything? Fuck knows. It's cashed out anyway, so it doesn't matter. Oh, have that Pokerstars. Pay out twice. Oh, another phone call. What a surprise. It's ridiculous how much I get. For someone who literally almost never leaves the house, because I only work part-time and I work from home. It's remarkable how often I get disturbed. Quite remarkable. Sorry, I'll mute that. Just playing on the app on the side. So this table actually isn't very good whatsoever. I'll have a look if there's enough to... Oh, yeah, there's another table. So we'll just join another table because I'm just not playing with 3 tight players. I'd rather put pins in my eyes. You don't play this game to play with loads of tight players. It's just not on the to-do list. This table, we've only got 1 player tagged as tight. And by tight in this game, you kind of mean like post-flop nits. No one's like uber tight, but there's a lot of people just literally nuts on nothing post-flop. Hard to get chips out of them unless it's a cooler spot. And they just don't give action. So, fuck them. Not playing with them types because I'm trying to have fun and make a few quid. Not get myself bored to tears by people like Basilion, and there's one called Love with some numbers from the Ukraine. Might be the most boring cunt on earth. I mean, yeah, he's in the Ukraine and he's probably having a bad time given what's happening there, but come on, mate. Grow up. Here we've got a very, very weak draw. We've basically got an offsuit 10. The only thing that can give us the nuts at the moment. See, and this is how you get in trouble in this game, because now we've got a shitty straight and a second nut flush draw. And now the flushes come in and we don't put any money in it. We lose to bigger straights, we lose to flushes. And given what I've seen so far, the river bluffing frequencies in this game are virtually non-existent. Didn't fancy a little bet there, mate, at any point with your nut flush draw. Again, this is a pretty bad hand, but we're making a video, so we'll open it. Flop the open ender. Have a little stab. See what happens. Take it down. Betting for information. Really is like going back in time. Just information bets. And the information you receive is usually super reliable unless you're playing against an uber whale. I see quite a lot of improvement on this turn if we get called in 2 spots. We have not seen that improvement. That's a pretty bad card, bringing in 2 straights and not giving us any kind of draw that we're remotely interested in. Here we've flopped quite a reasonable straight draw. Quite often you'll hear people saying it, because I've said it myself when I was new to the game, or people never fold in this game, you don't have fold equity, etc. Pre-flop, I would say that's quite true. But post-flop, I think there's plenty of fold equity for small enough sizes that you don't have to be super nitty. And pre-flop, it's just impossible to have anybody dominated. Post-flop, that's where the domination occurs. And if you're good at noticing spots where you can very easily be dominating people, or conversely, you can be super easily dominated, then it becomes a relatively easy game to play post-flop too. And once you develop a bit of experience and a bit of hand-reading ability, the game gets quite easy quite quickly. Here, this probably at the small blind, I don't know if it should be a hand we're playing or not, but we decided to play it. And we flopped the notes, but we're not going to lead out. We still have the nuts, and now we are going to. Given it's checked through, it implies people that have showdown value or give-ups. So I'm actually going to size up. We're mergy on the flop, but on the turn when it checks through, we just not going to be merging. We're just going to be polar. And the river is a really, really bad card for us. So we're just going to check and just fold. Even though we only lose to ace jack, we don't have any jacks in our hand whatsoever. This hand makes a really bad bluff catcher at the best of times. We don't, because we don't have any jacks, and people just don't bluff, so fine. We just lose the pot. Interesting 3-bet sizing there, blind versus blind. We just see what's going on here, because he could have made it 9 and he chose to make it 8. It's a bit weird. Especially deeper stacked. This is pretty damn atrocious. Another thing that's helped me improve a lot in this game is just not being too asked about defending my blinds, because even though pre-flop, you can argue you're always getting the correct price to call because equities run so close. It just leads you to getting into so many situations post-flop where you flop bits and pieces that you convince yourself to stick around too long, and then either you just get hammered by red line by going call, fold too often, or get hammered on blue line by going call too often when people just don't bluff. Here we have a very nice hand apart from the 3. I almost never isolate from the blinds, but I think this hand's definitely strong enough too. Then we get a really dry flop. Probably because we've got the back doors, I'm going to stab. But I'm not particularly comfortable with the situation. And we could easily just get shoved on here by Morris and have to fold our hand. But I'm c-betting here on the strength of my back doors. Not on the, my main hand strength's really bad, just top pair, top kicker. But we do have enough backdoor equity to at least try and see a turn card without taking a passive line. Then we hit a really bad turn too. Yeah, we pick up the gut shot now, but I think we're just going to start check folding. Here we have double suited aces on the button. We could do this, but 3-betting's really not a big part of my game, so we're just going to hit the call button. We could get squeezed by someone and then get to just take the lid off it. Then if someone just squeezes here to like 18 bigs, then we can make it like 70 or something. That would be nice. Or just playing in position with the disguised hand. That's also nice too. It's just going to be really hard. We're just not going to be dominating anyone pre-flop with this hand, and you end up feeling overcommitted post-flop in spots that just don't work out very well for you. Here, what have we got going on? Not a lot. Fold. Here, multi-way, we've squeezed a limper, and we've flopped pretty badly. I'm going to continue checking down here. If we bet and we get called, we just don't have very much chance to win the pot at all. Here again, multi-way. Nothing we can do, just give up. I mean, we might very occasionally win this with our 2 pairs. Don't think we have a lot of showdown value, but doubt we're getting on to fold anything better either. Yeah, we just get to win, which is nice. Because nobody bluffs. I mean, that pot was there for the taking for anybody. Anybody could have just stolen that pot. And nobody even tried to. This flop checked through. If we had like the ace of diamonds, I'd definitely just go bet here. But we don't, so we're just going to continue with our complete give up. And bluffing complete air multi-way in any form of poker is probably not a great idea, but in this form of poker, and just not good because people just check back medium to strong hands and then don't fold them. Double suited kings, and one of them's trip suited though. And then we've got the 6, the 5, and the 3. Again, there's one of those hands that you think looks good, but is actually pretty fucking rubbish. I think once you start to understand like pre-flop in terms of like which hands are good hands and are going to play well, and which hands look good but actually play pretty badly, and then start tailoring your ranges to throw away hands like double suited kings, but to stick around with other stuff that has far more playability. Again, the whole game just gets a lot simpler. When I think like back to how jumbled my thoughts were when I first started playing to how relatively well organised they are now, especially pre-flop, it gives me a lot of confidence that long term I'm going to be doing just fine in the games, because every single day I play, I just see people making some pretty sloppy pre-flop mistakes over and over and over again. Even people who've got reasonably good stats. I'm not going to hide my ambitions here. I want to become the best I can be at this game. I want to be able to consider myself like, I mean, 50 doesn't go on stars. So when I finally decide I want to play 50, I'll probably have to go and play on GG if I want to continue making content. And I'm not in love with that idea, frankly, because GG is just mass table of city. The games are shit. But in the Applands, currently playing 25p, 50p, And I hope I'm one of the better players, but I haven't played enough yet to be confident of that. But I want to get to where I feel like I'm the best player in the private games I play in at the limit I'm at. Then just spend a period of consolidation, building a bankroll, and then move up to 51, which is a game I haven't played 51 anything as my regular game for 15 years now. But I think it is definitely not just possible, but very likely that at some point next year I'll be doing that. And that's when you can make some serious money. You can make thousands in a month with your rate back, with your profit. You could just be sat there making a few grand a month, tax-free every month. And that is my personal holy grail. But the only way you get there is by studying, practicing, building up your reps, building up your experience, understanding how population plays, understanding how different types of whales play, and then just as best you can building counter strategies for every single different player type, because the game is so much more dynamic than No Limit. Now you can sit at a No Limit table and there'll be yourself, 4 other shitregs that play relatively similarly, and 1 fish. In these games, you could be sat with 2 or 3 other regulars that all play very different to you, all have their own leaks and exploits you can try and make on them. And on top of that, you have some whales too. Genuinely, I remember saying to my goodie friend Juicenberg a while back that like PLO 6 is the future. And I believed it, but I just didn't take it seriously enough as a player. Now I still firmly believe that. It's never going to take over from No Limit in terms of popularity, but in terms of like profitability and game quality, I firmly, genuinely believe it is the future, and I've decided I want to be a big part of that future. And I haven't got my HUD anywhere near right here, have I? Oh, it's not that far out. Take HUD to the left. So this guy's bet small. We've got top pair, second nut flush draw. We're going to proceed with caution. Oh, it's bet small because he's fucking all in. I still only would have called anyway. I don't want to raise and then get 3-bet by 2 players behind who would know that I was completely fucked. We've turned to 2 pair now. So unless we were behind to a set on the flop, or he's turned a set, which seems unlikely, I think he would have check raised a set on the flop a lot. I think we just got the best hand here, and I'm just going to pot to either make you fold some equity or give me value. If we get shoved on, I'll be quite sad. Couldn't have hoped for a better brick than that. And now we're only concerned about being beaten by traps, but versus someone, he's got the blue tech, but he's actually probably green. I mean, if he hasn't check raised a set, then we're in trouble here. In fact, do we just check down? What do we get value from? Probably not a lot. 2 pair, probably not a lot. We lost the side. I lost the main one, the side. That might look like a pretty nitty check back, but when we've only got top 2 pair, what do we actually get value from? King 8, maybe? I don't know. That could be nitty. Trip kings, but triple suited. It's going to overlimp because it's got very little playability post flop. If he doesn't flop a flush draw, then it's probably fucking useless. And even if it does flop a flush draw, it's not going to be a nut flush draw. Or unlikely to be. And then you just get a flop like this, and you're like, well, just next hand, please, dealer. Need to keep my eye on the clock because I've got to leave to go and pick my mate up from day service in 10 minutes. Another tight, boring Ukrainian here. Imagine how good poker would be if they just banned any country to the east of Germany and to the west of China. Now, I know that'd be a bit awkward because there's some overlap between China and Russia, east to west. But basically, imagine if they just all ex-Soviet Union countries, if they just banned all of them and said, fuck off, we don't want you. Imagine how much better poker would be. Imagine how much better the games would be. But instead, you have people from all these shithole countries with shithole fucking shite economies who can literally play professionally at fucking 10NL and earn more than a fucking school teacher in their godforsaken country and clogs the game up. That's why No Limit is just so dog shit. Because you get 8 million fucking cunting Belarusians playing 200 hours a month of 10NL and living off rate back. The boring, potato munching bastards. And if that makes me sound right wing, I apologise because I'm anything but I do have, in a just purely a poker sense and no other sense, an absolute massive hatred of former Soviet state players. So this guy's just going to have a really strong hand here. Set maybe with a straight draw too. When he raises everyone in the multi-way pot. He's just actually got an enormous wrap. Enormous straight draw with top 2 pairs. Nice hand, sir. Hope you lose. And you did. Beautiful. And the whales got it. Oh, no, he didn't. He won. He just lost the side pot. Boo. I just saw the 0% and I was fucking delighted. Nice hand, Dimitri. I've actually been a little bit dealt out of the games the last 10 minutes, but that happens. It's unfortunate when it happens when you're making a video, but it just happens in all formats of poker, doesn't it? Again, a deceptive hand here. Double suited kings with an ace is nice, but we're going to be very careful not to overplay it. This isn't a particularly good hand, but we do have this whale in the small blind, so we're going to play it here. Don't love the fact that the regulars ISO'd, and really don't love the flop very much, and don't love this one very much either. So we river a straight. Our pre-flop range has lots of full houses in it here, but given how we played it post-flop, we don't have any full houses. Guy just folded second nuts. Fucking love it, sir. Absolutely love it. Second nuts. Nah, you're all right. We're out. Probably shouldn't be showing that you're folding the second nut, so probably a good fold, but no need to show it. Nuts. Careful not to give away too many timing tells. It's easy to get excited and just start mashing buttons. And sadly, we get the snap fold. And we're going to play around to our blinds, and that's going to be it. But I intend to make several of these videos because I'm just really enjoying it, and I'd really like to push the game out to as many of my regular viewers as possible. Firstly, because I'd like to see you playing it and hear some stories from you. And secondly, apart from bad beat stories or coolers, don't give a fuck about them. Secondly, I'd like to convert some of you to app game players, so I can make an extra little bit of money on the side. This hand is pretty atrocious about when the fact he's triple suited. We're just going to overlimp it or call if this guy ISOs. This guy's moaning about the game quality. Here, aces, single suited, 3 sixes, a lot of shite. If we could somehow hit a 5 or reduce, though, I might be tempted to do some bluffing. Although we are we going to call here? No. And we're certainly not going to call here. Get on with it, Brazil. Shock. Nuts, river, bet. Caller loses. See that plenty in this game? You see plenty of that. This is a pretty bad hand, but we're nearing the end of the video, so we'll play it anyway. He's complaining about audio exit a table and he's not even reloading, so he needs to fucking grow up. You just start fucking playing a bit faster as well, though. Second nut flush draw. And not too much else. Check back and do some delay betting. Turning second nuts, so we're just going to go call. Hope to pick off a bluff here on the river or value bet. Neither of those things. Well, we did make a value bet, but we did not get called. And I'm not going to sit around and wait for this hand to play out on 2 more because the clock is against me. Well, thank you very much for watching, everybody. Don't forget to hit like and leave comments if you don't mind to help the YouTube algorithm. And we'll see you again in the next one. Thanks for watching. Take care and bye-bye for now.